G'day folks, Tony again here for more of the jaunty saunterings of Gaunt Bort the Taunter. We are on level 2 of the Grit Gate, making our way downwards. Let's see what awaits us. Many things. Looks like the droids have taken care of the bits and pieces that were down here earlier. But they've very fortunately appear to have left. They appear to have left the treasure chests for us to take care of, which is very nice of them. Those hermits going to have a hard time with the way droids. Now we have many potential things that we could be picking up here. We have a little bit of extra carrying capacity now that we've leveled up to level 12 and our strength has gotten a little bit higher. There's another mirthworm. But of course there is a lot of stuff here that we're kind of leaving lie. That we will return to, particularly some of the batches of fresh water that we have been finding. That it would be nice to go back and collect at a later date. No, I don't. That's not what I want. I want to grab things from the chest. The chest is 13 pounds. We should be able to open it. We can. Leather boots, vine wafer, we'll take that. An iron buckler, we're not really shield spec'd, so we might leave that be. Rather than carrying around with us, that chest is now a rather lovely red colour, thanks to all of the blood that's all over it. So there's a slug snout here. We'll take care of that with our force bubble up so that we don't get killed by it. And fairly safely able to shoot in a direction away from the way droids. I most definitely don't want to have them get cranky with us, or we're in a world of hurt. I think they're all using stun rods, but they can still be nasty. Okay, how are we looking here? Where are the stairs? Need some more. Whoa, there's another Sunder Mind. That one only hit us for 7 damage though, so that's better. Not too hard to take care of them. They're always carrying those steel knives. Was that attacking me? It was not. Alright. What else do we have here? Some more mirthworms. Just poking around. Good. Poking around to see what else we can find. Before we, I believe, are going to travel to the north up to the next screen up and see what we find. Ooh, another mirthworm. Are there more here around this corner? Yes, of course there are. They're mirthworms. Much easier to take down. Oh, there's a slumberling. We're not going to mess with them. So we're going to leave that room be. Some things are just best left undisturbed, and slumberlings are absolutely one of those things. All right, what's up here? Yeah, we found it. We found the conclave. 250 experience points. Here we are at long last. All right, at the communications panel, there's a voice transmitting through the panel. It says, "Begone, Wayfarer, this is no place for you." Our options are, I come by way of Jopar, the Elder Iridad calls me a friend. Or, wait, my name is Gaunt Bort the Taunter. I bring a message from Argive of Jopar. That's the one we want. So we have spoken with the Barathrumites and completed a canticle for Barathrum. A slot opens from the center of the door and a metal tray slides out. We're going to place the disc in the tray. Several minutes pass. So it seems that you are indeed Argive's apprentice. He wishes you to study with us. Unfortunately, we require more than a willing spirit. Kud is not Jopar. You will need to prove your worth. That you might not waste our time and efforts. Travel to the great cavern Golgotha to the north. Within its halls you will find a cache of dysfunctional waydroids. Recover one, repair it, and return here. If we are satisfied with your work, you will be admitted to our order. Otherwise, you will not be. Do you accept this arrangement? Yeah, of course we do. So we have accepted a new quest, More Than a Willing Spirit. And there we have it. Now we have to make our way back out of the dungeon. So fortunately, we should be able to do this in a fairly simple fashion. And here we are back on the surface of the world, so we can zoom out to the world map. And now, goodness me, I've forgotten where it is. That's Bethesda Susa. We definitely don't want to go there. There we go, Golgotha. Not all that far to the north of us. However, Golgotha is a terrible, terrible place, and we're not ready for it. And I definitely want to do some more leveling up before we tackle that one, because it gets real bad. Shrouded in the rotting jungle are the mouths of the rust caves of Golgotha, Chrome's graveyard. Cool. So we are just positively overflowing with equipment here that we're going to want to sell. And there was a Dromad caravan down here. We might head to that first, and then make our way across east to Kyokukia and see how we go. So without any further ado, let's head on the way to do that now. We've fortunately made it there. We're going to try going straight to the Dromad caravan. Perhaps they'll be in the midst of some horrible battle, or perhaps they have moved elsewhere. We're hungry. We could probably make a camp around here in a moment. I may have actually made one previously. I don't actually recall. Is the caravan still here? They are indeed. So let's make a camp near them so that it will be here for us in the future should we need it. +4 quickness. Good to know. We're going to have a chat with the Dromad trader, and let's see if they have anything new that we might want. Oof, that weird artifact for $1,071.43 is probably worth our time. A lacquered carbide hammer, emergency services security card, presumably a green one. A grit gate recoiler, we already have some of them. Interesting. All right, so maybe some things that are worth our time. How much of this stuff do we want to get rid of? We'll definitely get rid of that. Sell that. We can sell that. We're going to keep the chem cell, so we can put them in a whole bunch of things. We don't need a glow sphere because we have a floating glow sphere near us. Dagger, hammer, short sword. We have a folded carbide dagger. Probably don't need 2 of them. It's probably not as good as some of the other things that we have. We can go through all of these. Go. We'll keep the stun rod. That might come in handy. We've got a chest here that we're going to store a bunch of stuff in when we have a chance to. What else? Keep all of those tonics and injectors. We're definitely keeping the recoilers and the droid scramblers. But let's put a bunch of these also here. Copper nuggets, silver nuggets. They're a fairly condensed way of carrying cash around, as opposed to all the water that we've probably got with us. And that doesn't really get us close to the 1,000 for that weird artifact. And I can't, off the top of my head, see a lot of other things that I think we would find useful at this point. That security card would be nice, but it is possible to find them elsewhere. Alright, so given all of those things, I'm not sure that we actually need to be doing any trading here at the moment. So now that we're sated and we've eaten, we're going to go back to the world map and we're going to make our way across to Kirkukya, hopefully not getting lost along the way. Speaking of which, all right, to the northeast we continue to go. We always seem to be heading northeast when we get lost. Maybe there's something to that. And of course, all of these blockable trees, not making it easy for us to use our auto walk. And we've regained our bearings. Uh-oh. A chitinous puma and a goat folk sower. So it's definitely time for a scrap here. Let's boost our toughness first. Good. Let's force bubble second. Also good. They seem to be fighting each other, so that's okay. Let's sunder the mind of the chitinous puma first. Interesting. So the goat folk sower did some explosion-y things, and the chitinous puma died, and we didn't get any XP for it. So they're wounded. Let's take advantage of that. 375 XP, nice. When we have our toughness boosted now, we're getting a good chunk of good chunk of hit points. Quite pleased with how that looks. So we have some more critters here. I really like how they blend in super well to the green environment. Are you fighting me or are you fighting them? Kind of a bit of both. Let's try and have some fun here. Let's try a dominate creature. See if we can take over the goat. They resisted domination. Damn! In that case, dear fellow, I'm going to go with the Sunder Mind. And that did work a little bit, so that's nice. Is this beetle bum going to come and attack us? It is not. So we'll do the old-fashioned hit and bash. There's a few folk coming here. I'm assuming they're going to attack me now. These Naphthalis. Yep. So we'll take them down. Should not be a problem. Our toughness has returned to normal, but we're still not doing too bad, I think. There's another forager around somewhere. There they are. Ooh, a painted club. Let's investigate that in case we can learn something from it. Ethereal Med the first. Good. A little bit of lore in our lore bag. Alright, what else have we got here? A club. That's not very exciting. Vine wafer, that's nice. Can we go back to the world map? Success. Yeah. Alright. Here we are in Kirkukya. We made it at long last. Let's go around and have a look and have a chat with people. Hello, Mushroom Gatherer. The Mushroom Gatherer shies away from you. Live and drink, friend. Where are you going? Warden Indrix, Goatfolk Pariah. Beneath a mane of coarse hair, Warden Indrix's lips move without issuing forth any sound, perhaps in the formation of a litany invoked in the name of the vengeful god he serves. The coarse hair grows in an uninterrupted mass down his torso, that of a human but broader and more taut with muscle than any man's, disappearing only behind the sash of his kilt. But for Mayor Nuntu and the warden himself, no one knows the circumstances of Indrix's estrangement from his kin, for no one dares mention it lest they draw the warden's ire. One of his great curling horns has been cleanly cloven from his head, however. That same horn, along with several others, hang from a belt slung low about Indrix's hips, giving him the distinction of being the only warrior to bear his own appendage as a trophy. Loved by the Fellowship of Wardens, admired by the villagers of Kirkukya for defending their village, hated by goat folk for some reason he won't share. What a deep mystery we have. He's wearing a wool kilt, massive horns, grassy yurt mats, serrated, sturdy, fullerite two-handed axe. That sounds nice. Can I have one of those, please? That may be contributing to why Warden Indrix is impossible. and neutral, but I have no idea where Warden Indrix is heading. Just seems to have done a little bit of a move up to the north of town. We have some human childs, a bunch of human childs, a worshipper of Oborokoru. This nude brown-skinned figure alternates between kneeling low before the shrine of Oborokoru and skulking around it observantly. His body is black with the dirt of the earth, but his face is uncharacteristically clean, and you notice every so often he uncorks a water skin that hangs around his neck, moistens his hands, and scrubs the grime from his cheeks and brow. Oh, keep making me say this proper noun. Oborokoru's worshippers deem this rite a more meaningful use of their precious fresh water than even the quenching of thirst, and in presenting unsullied faces to the idol of their ape god, they hope to propitiate him and garner his favour and protection. I don't believe I've ever said that word out loud before, so there's a new experience for everyone. Okay. Hi, how are you? Mayor Nuntu. Strange as it seems, the mayor's hulking frame and alabaster fur identify him unmistakably as an albino ape. His flanks have softened and swollen, however, on account of a sedentary life unknown to his savage brothers and sisters, and in place of contorted rage, he wears an aspect of reflective wonder. He clothes himself in a crude toga, a beaten wide-brimmed hat, and a walking stick, upon which he doesn't lean but rather brandishes in a stately manner. Disliked by grazing hedonists for disparaging a famous poet. Lovely. Mayor Nuntu, however, is not impossible and is merely very tough. Let's have a chat. Hey, how you doing? Live and drink, traveller. Welcome to my village, idyllic Kyakukya, as it is spoken in the native tongue. How may I serve you? You are an albino ape? Indeed I am. Why do you call it your village? I am its mayor, and I have been for some time. You see, years ago I deserted my tribe. We were of two different minds. They desired nothing but to bludgeon everything to death, while I asked, what is the nature of this thing we bludgeon? Or of the act itself? Recognising that my answers lay elsewhere, I cast myself upon the byroads of Kud, as a lovesick sailor casts the bottle that bears his sonnets upon the surf, hoping I'd be guided towards the wisdom I sought by my desire to seek it. We're going to continue listening. Some years later, and 20 ago, I came upon these mushroom huts and their provincial inhabitants. These are a goodly, simple people, and I was charmed by the warmth with which they welcomed me. Surely I owed my acceptance at first to the countenance I share with their mighty god, but they soon grew to love me, and I them. I've remained here ever since in contemplation of those questions that first stirred in me all those years ago. Hey, Menontu, what can you tell me about Kyakukya? Kyakukya is a village of hunters and gatherers. The natives are not likely to pay you much mind so long as you leave them alone. If it's commerce that interests you, take a gander at Yerl's wares in the northwest corner. Sven Leonard's too, if he's graced us with his presence. I must warn you, however, if you harbour any villainous intentions, you would do well to abandon them. Warden Indrix will be keeping his eye on you. Hey Menuntu, what can you tell me about Yerl? Yerl is a harmless cucumber vine. It came to Kyakukya a few years ago after the last consortium chandler, a wicked little hyacinth named Plasago, suffered something of an accident. In Axelcattle's defence, Plasago probably should have stowed its shears before it chose to berate the poor hunter. Anyway, Yerl stocks a plethora of goods. You'll be satisfied with your visit. Hey Menuntu, what can you tell me about Sven Leonard? Sven Leonard is a huntsman from around these parts. Usually he is out in the jungle stalking his quarries, but every so often he sets up shop in the copse of trees at the village's centre. If it's rare biological specimens that interest you, such as mail crafted from the husks of hideous beasts, Sven Leonard is the man to meet. Hey Menuntu, what can you tell me about Indrix and this thing of which he never speaks? Warden Indrix is one of the most ferocious warriors I've ever met. Once upon a time, he and his brothers gorged themselves on the flesh of beasts by starlight, but now I count myself lucky to call him Warden. Some believe he is possessed of a sour disposition, though I assure you he is but a victim of his goatish nature. Hey man, Nuntu, I have some other questions. We seem to be at a lore nexus here. Let's continue. Is there work to be found here? A soldier of fortune, I see. Speak to my friend the Warden Indrix. You will find him patrolling the village. Hey man, Nuntu, just one last thing before we continue. Have you heard news of Gershlings on Quid's surface? The watervine farmers of Jopar confirm it is true. As far south as Jopar, you say? Yes, unfortunately we have found the remains of Gershlings downriver from the northern jungles. It would seem that the Pale Death, as my erstwhile tribal ancestors named it, awakens. However, there is little a philosopher such as myself can do about it. Very well, Manuntu, live and drink. Can we do a water ritual with you? We can, and we will. So, grazing hedonists dislike Manuntu, so we've lost a little bit of rep with them. Okay, I have a secret to share with you. We're going to share the location of Shersamore. It's going to give us even more rep. What could we go with here? We could learn to do some cooking. Let's do a secret first. Ooh. Wonderful. Mayor Nuntu shares the location of the lair of FB-78, legendary chain gun turret. No, thank you. That is just the worst. Why would we want to do that? We're going to learn cooking and gathering. So there we have it. We can go and find the lair of a legendary chain gun turret. That seems like an unwise choice, given how bad chain gun turrets have been with us in the past. So nothing immediately here. We're going to head over and have a chat with Yerl. Here's Yerl. Yerl, a sentient cucumber vine, puts its roots down in a squat clay pot on the floor of its hut. Myriad wares rest on oaken shelves throughout the room, and with its tendrils, Yerl exhibits them to interested customers by crawling along an iron trellis. You notice that Yerl creeps toward products almost before you think of them. The gift of telepathy affords the sprightly vine a distinct advantage as a chandler. Is equipped with a clay pot. Very nice. Let's have a chat with Yerl. Friend, guns, knives, hats, cucumbers? Let's do some trading. So you'll notice that some of Yerl's very ripe cucumbers here are available for us to purchase. Let's have a look through the things that we have here. A flexi vest. Goodness, that looks interesting. I actually want to look at it. A vest cut from an elastine mesh and reinforced with plastic. 2 armor and 3 dodge. That does seem mighty nice. And I think we may end up going for it. What else do we have? Floating glow sphere, got one already. Folded carbide short sword. That also is mighty appealing. And a folded carbide long sword. We don't have long weapons training. But that short sword would be good because then we would have a short weapon in our primary and secondary hand. So, I'm of the opinion you can never have too many lead slugs. So let's take all of them. We're going to pop the flexi vest on the list. What does the light obfuscating lens give us? Convex translucent lens the size of a man's torso and suspended in thin air. I presume that would be something that would float next to us. We want to keep our floating glow sphere, I assume. I mean, sure, you can never have too many weird artifacts, but we might come back to that. We're going to grab that folded carbide short sword. So we've now got about $350 worth of stuff on the table. Let's pop a heap of things on here. We'll go with that one. We'll go with the book. We'll get rid of the sandals. It's getting us a fair way there so far. We don't need the glow sphere. I don't need that hammer because we already have another one. Going to get rid of that. Offload all of these things. Keep the stun rod. wonder if we should kind of want to keep that just as a super backup. And then we should have some things here that we can ditch. This is going to get us pretty close, I think. If we add one of them, two of them, three of them, and then we're at pretty much of a muchness. So that seems like a fair trade. Yerl, give us a dram. Thank you very much. Okay. Hey Yerl, while I'm here, who are you and what's your story? I'm Yerl, Chandler and Consortium Notary. As for my story, I've been growing out of this pot for a while now. Before that, I was in another pot. Consortium? Yes, the Consortium of Fighter. We are a fellowship of trees, vines, shrubs, weeds, flowers, herbs, cacti, algae, most sorts of plants, really. A dastardly crowd, unquestionably, but how else am I to restock my shelves or ascertain news from across Quid? Hey Yerl, what about fungi? Fungi? I'm a chandler and a gentle plant. I cook fungi. I shelter myself under the caps of fungi, but consort with fungi? You do me harm, friend. I believe I have a caller presently. Perhaps you should retire from here. But I said good day, friend. Sorry, girl. Will you still talk to me? Oh, good. I'm pleased. Right, so we got a bunch of new cool things that we can use. Let's have a look at them now. FlexiVest, we definitely want to pop that on. So we're going to take off the chainmail. We're going to go from 710 to 614. That seems like quite a fair trade. What else do we have here? I think we're going to ditch a bunch of stuff into a chest and leave it here in Kyakukia. So the folded carbide short sword we're going to want to put into one hand and keep the folded carbide dagger in another. So let's do that now. That carbide hammer can go. That carbide dagger can stay. I'm going to pop that one there. It's a good amount of penetration we've got on things. We're reloading our desert rifle. What can we put here in place of the steel gauntlets? Elastine gloves. Okay, we tried that before and we don't really need to lose the benefit of that. Do we have anything to replace the crocossins? We do not. So finding something better and funkier to put on our feet would be good. We don't have anything to store on the arms, and we should probably pop a grenade in our thrown weapon. Just to double check, nothing to replace the leather cap, nothing to replace the sun veil, and nothing to replace the burnous. All right. Looking good, looking good. I guess here at Yerl's is as good a place to drop this chest as any. So let's get that done now. Going to drop it there. Oh, that's right. I remember now. We got the pink chest. So let's plonk many of these things in here. I guess we can come back and stock as we need, if we need, at some point in the future. We might keep some of these things with us. Whoops. Oh, we can't really do anything here. It'll be fine, I guess. We'll keep all of those. Definitely keeping the recoilers. We can get rid of one of those basic toolkits. Those things will be handy for trading and will cost a lot less than all of this water. I think we're going to need to do some pouring. That's always a fun time and is good YouTubing. So we're going to try and pour all of these into other containers to empty out some of these water skins. And that way we can leave. Good. All right. So there's 6 in there. Let's plonk a few more into here. Let's see, getting half of them would probably do. So let's go with 26 into that one. That should give us a thing that's got 32, and that seems pretty fair to me. So we're going to put some other things in here. So we'll plonk that in there. We'll plonk that in there. We'll keep the cider and honey because then we've got some things. I guess there's nothing wrong with having more water skins. So a quick scan through again just to make sure. We'll keep the fix-it foam. We have all of yon food, stun rod, bunch of cool weapons that hopefully we get to use. We've got the recoilers. All right, looking good. Okie dokie. So now we find ourselves at something of a crossroads. We're sort of here in the mid-game. We have a reasonable bunch of things that we found. Let's can we make a camp here? We can. I'm gonna whip up that meal so we're not hungry anymore. So yeah, we have a bunch of opportunity here. There's a number of different things that we could do. I believe that the warden here will be able to give us a quest, so that might be the first thing we do when we come back for the next part of the Let's Play. Thank you so much for watching. A thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. Let your friends know if they think they might enjoy it. And come back again soon for more of the jaunty saunterings of Gaunt Bort the Taunter.